And the Magic become the first team this year in Jonathan Isaac's return to beat the Celtics in this season series.
Second hour late night, WEEI. It's KJ. Thank you so much for being here. 617-779-7937. Text line 37937. Still to come. It's already over for the Bills. They're done. And there's literally a window of opportunity for the rest of the AFC East at hand. That's coming in 15 minutes. Celtics lose 113-98. Thank goodness this isn't a playoff series. If it was, it'd be like, oh my God, Orlando's up 3-1. What do you think will happen? Look, I think what's happening here with the Celtics sometimes and some of these lower teams, okay, let's just call it with the Magic. You're like, it's the Magic. They're never good. They haven't been good in a long time. It's a bunch of young guys. We can kind of go in there and flex the way we want to and just walk out like just off of talent. And they got embarrassed. Now, granted, Jason Tatum went out with some type of nick. Came back with a couple minutes left. They made a late run, but it wasn't enough. No Malcolm Brogdon, but it's bigger than that. Celtics had double the fouls that the Magic had. And that leads to what? Free throws. Celtics, 11 free throws. Granted, they hit 8 of them, but the Magic had 24 free throws. And when you've got 8 more, that's 8 more points right there. So literally, now you'd bring that game down to, if say the Celtics had 8 more free throws they could hit and they hit them all. Now it's a 113-106 game. It's a different story. But ridiculous fouls. And then this is the thing that jumps out at me. That just makes me just go, oh. 46 three-point attempts tonight? 46? Yeah, I know you hit over 35 total, but you took 46. They took 27, only had to make 11 of them, and beat you by 15.
It's almost like they were scared of like the Magic size that they bring with like Wagner, Banchero, Bol. Like, well, I think they were scared.
But here's the thing. This is the team, this is the type of team where you know, hey, if you're going to go up against Embiid or you're going to see Giannis, this is where you have to treat Orlando like a sparring partner. Hey, you guys may be good one day, but we're going to try out the stuff that we want to try out on Embiid on you. So we're taking it to your chest. Make the officials blow that whistle, because think about it. In a situation where you say Tatum doesn't get calls, you would get every call based on all the people on this court tonight. Every single call. Banchero, yeah, great player. He's not going to get the calls. Franz Wagner, no. Mike Williams, no. None of those guys are going to get the call if you take it to their chest. And you don't. 18-10 turnovers, 18-10. Come on, turnovers? What's up? Why turnovers? Again, if you've got a young team in front of you that going into tonight had a losing record at home and was 12 games under 500, what are you supposed to do to them? And here's what makes it worse. You haven't done it to them the last 3 times you played them. So you might say, hey, well, the season series is over. That's Orlando. But these are the games that I talk about that say, okay, can you show that the teams that you're supposed to dominate, even if you have no Malcolm Brogdon and you have no Al Horford, when you don't have, when you don't have Robert Williams, when you have those, you don't have those 2 guys, that really shouldn't matter. It shouldn't. But 46 three-pointers against this young team, I don't get it. I don't have the post game because things are moving so fast when the show comes on. Like, post game was just happening, so you don't get to turn these things all the way around. Yeah, I hold the first frustration in Joe Mazzulla's voice, and I wonder if at what point do you guys, the team, like, okay, you need to stomp a mud hole in someone like Orlando, show your tip top defense, show your best 2-point offense, see how many of those dudes you can get to foul out. See if you could get one of your buddies that you used to be in your day camp to come out there on the court and be able to come check you. Man, I get in here, son. Remember this from when you were 9? But no, you let these teams hang around. You give up 30 points in the first quarter. Then you're trying to chase them down in the second, and then the Tatum thing happens in the third, and next thing you know, here you are chasing and running in the fourth, trying to run them down, and it isn't enough. Still get outscored in the fourth, even trying to make a run. Jaylen Brown, 5 turnovers. Come on. We can't really have Do all-stars average on the regular 4, 5, 6, those consistent numbers and turnovers a game? Is that an all-star? No. But if that's what Jaylen Brown wants to be considered as, you got to be serious about the turnovers. My goodness. Like, it was the blaring and glaring problem in the NBA Finals. And you're having 5 turnovers against one of the worst teams in the league? That's the funny thing about when teams tend to be the worst teams in the league, they're the ones that tend to have the turnovers. That's what young teams do. Unbelievable. Out-rebounded. I mean, like, what? Yeah, some people would say it's just one game. But if you've lost 3 games to this same team, then that, to me, that just shows a form of disconnect. Like, are we awake, folks? What are we doing?
I mean, the benefit of the doubt with that disconnect, though, is that you didn't have Robert Williams, you didn't have Marcus Smart, you didn't have Brogdon. This was a team that was relatively healthy for a majority of the year.
But Orlando has none of those guys, right? Like, if any one of those 3 guys played for Orlando, that would be the big news that, hey, Smart's not playing tonight up against the Celtics, and we need his defense against Tatum and Brown. Or, oh, man, we don't have Robert Williams back there to help kind of protect the rim or anything like that. Or, oh, man, we really could use the leadership of Malcolm. You see what I'm saying? Like, these 3 guys that are not there would be stars for Orlando. You still have Tatum and Brown. That should be enough. You got Tatum, Brown, and Horford. And you can't beat these guys? I mean, these are the games that Grant Williams should be able to, yeah, Grant Williams went off for like 15, 17 points. Sam Hauser got loose, and he did a little bit. You know, Luke Cornett got in there and battled for 15, 20 minutes and maybe get you 10 rebounds, 6 points. You know, like Peyton Pritchard, I mean, though he got a lot of run, but this can't be a game where you run for 30-something minutes and score 5 points. Yeah, I can see if this was like a defensive juggernaut like the Bucks, and you got to tighten the rotation. This is a night where, look, pretty much everybody played. Everybody got to play. And you can't pull this off and haven't been able to pull it off against Orlando. It's kind of embarrassing at this point. And I hate to be a fatalist, but this is what I say. Like, nobody's going to take you serious if you can't beat these teams that, okay, first of all, the price is increased because you're in town. So you need to be the ones laying the smackdown. 2, you know you got a game the next night up against Miami, so you want to be able to say, look, run these guys off the court early, sit down, cross those legs, kind of talk with each other, let the backup guys get runs because you're going to need Tatum and Brown tomorrow in Miami or the next game in Miami. So, yeah, I'm just kind of flabbergasted.
So then what are your expectations for the next 5 games? Because as you said, tomorrow night it's the Heat. Then it's 4 straight home games: Knicks, Lakers, Nets, Suns.
Well, now you got to really go all out. You got to go all out on this Miami game now because you dropped this one to Orlando. I forget that you had a winning streak going on. Forget a snapped win streak. Like, maybe you want to bring that win streak back home. The Saturday night game is going to be a big deal because it's the Lakers. Then you've got the Nets behind that. That's what I'm saying. Like, get these wins here, because a game like the Lakers is going to be tough. Phoenix might be a tough game despite who they don't have. The Nets, I don't think will be as tough. But you don't want to come back home potentially, asleep at the wheel for 2 straight games to Miami and Orlando, one worse than the other, and then try and turn it on for a Saturday night game. Because all eyes are going to be watching. Plus, Rui Hachimura now with the Lakers, I'm sure probably by Saturday they will be getting him some rotations into the game, and he's a nice piece for them. It doesn't change the narrative.
That's a really good point, though, about the prime time. The next 4 games are all on prime time, like to TNT, ABC, ESPN. Like the whole nation are possibly going to be watching.
Well, really, when you say the whole nation, you're really talking about the ABC Saturday night game where they're doing like the rivalry week. So Lakers, Celtics at the Garden Saturday night. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is come back limping from Florida. Be like, oh, Florida, that was a tough trip. No. Should have won tonight, ran them off the court early, get these other guys like Pritchard and Cornett and all these other guys, get them runs, Have your stars fresh for tomorrow, plus the guys who are coming back. Horford could get a rest. Thinking ahead like that. Now, granted, Miami's, they're okay this year. They're just above 500, but still, they're going to be ready to shoot their guns for sure. I mean, Celtics coming to town. It's a replay of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. You can't be asleep at the wheel in these games against Orlando because you want to play Miami hard. You got to play them hard.